Alright, today I'm going to be talking about my foundation, adversity, and success. This is going to have my personal views, and also I'll be using Life is Not Complicated, You Are by Carlos Wallace to help, kind of tie everything together and hopefully help you understand it clearer. To start off, I'm going to be talking about my foundation, and my foundation is really just my family. They push me in all different ways, which to start off, my parents are divorced, and that's kind of like I see as a fair split because on my mom's side, she's pushing me and teaching me that like life isn't easy and it's not going to be nice to you, and that no matter how hard it pushes you down, you have to get back up and keep fighting or you're not going to get anywhere. And on my dad's side, they kind of teach me my love and like compassion and caring side because I'm known with like all my friends and stuff like that to be like always energetic and smiling and to be all around like just really nice to everybody no matter who they are. And that's basically just who lifts me up and who kind of drives me. And the place that I feel most grounded would have to be my work because there I kind of listening to others and I have kind of like a very simple and clear goal, and it helps me just keep moving and I know what I'm doing. I'm always doing it, and whenever I'm done there I feel exhausted because I've put in the work and the effort and time. And the place that I feel like is my safe zone or area to say is honestly my house or like my room, because like in my room and stuff I'm laying down, I'm relaxing, I don't have to like put in any energy, I'm just chilling. And it's also the place where I kind of grow the most is because whenever it becomes like time for me to go to sleep or whatnot, I kind of just start thinking, and that process kind of gets my mind to expand to say, and it also gets a lot of thoughts in like my head that I wouldn't think of, like, oh, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Like it kind of sets me up and helps me become like better because I reflect on like things I did, or like, oh, today wasn't the best day, what can I do to do better and to have more fun. And it kind of goes with, in my mind it has built up a mentality that I have to do better, and it's there's only me in my room, so it's kind of like an area where I don't have to think or do anything that others might think or have their own opinion about me. And to quote the book, You're Not Complicated, or Life's Not Complicated, You Are, um, he said that you should always be your greatest motivator. Never leave that power in somebody else's hands. Once you learn to love the person you are, there are no limits to the person you can become. And this is going to go later on in the talk too. But after some processing and some difficult obstacles, I learned how to basically count on myself. And from that, I'm always like, I call it self-love, but it's kind of like overconfidence in myself and stuff, but I don't see anything wrong in that. And this quote honestly really ties into that because I'm my own self-motivator. I count on myself, I do what I want, and I know that in the end of the day, the only person that could push me is me. And also, like, going back to like my family and stuff like that, it's there's also another quote that says, behind great men, children, companies, and homes are some extraordinary women. Take time today to always acknowledge the women in your life with a show of gratitude. This also ties in with how my mom pushes me, and even though I like get mad at her and like could be real pissy and stuff like that, she's also behind me trying to strive to have me do better. And I'm thankful for that. I can't really say I would be anywhere where I am because if without that I'd be real lazy and kind of like bummy to say. He also said that living up to other people's expectations limits your potential. You'll either find they are unreasonably high or set so low you should consider it as an insult. And that goes back to how my safe room and area is my own room. I don't have anybody else trying to like get me down or anything to live up to. I'm in there, I'm just relaxing, and there's really nothing to set. Whenever I'm out my room, I'm out doing things, trying to better myself, but while I'm there, I'm actually relaxing and having like a peaceful state of mind, if that makes sense. I guess to say that the places where I feel rocky or unsteady would have to be anywhere with like other people other than like my best friend per se, and even sometimes with him. The reason is because like with other people, they're doing their own thing, and whether it be from myself or from them, there's always like expectations or like everybody trying to one up each other, and it's like you can't really relax and just chill. Alright, so after high school, I kind of went downhill, and this was a very big, change in my life. And it at first did not help me, and it was more of a hindrance and changed me for the worse. But at the end, I became who I am, and it was not just after high school, like, oh, I graduated, I'm an adult, but more that I got a lot more time on my hands, and that with the time, it might feel all great and stuff like that, but I personally have to get up and go do things, and there's nobody really telling me what to do. And this made me go downhill very fast because I didn't want to do anything. I wanted just to chill, act like it was summer, 24/7, and just lay in bed, play games, and really not have any responsibilities, and kind of like just retirement, I guess, before I even got anywhere close to that. And there's a quote that he says, "You should always be your greatest motivator, never leave the power in someone else's hands. Once you learn to love the person you are, there is no limits to the person you can become." And this change in my life was whenever I actually realized this. And because of having all the downtime and going downhill, it was either I keep going downhill and become worse and worse to where there really isn't a way to climb up, and if I do, it's going to be extremely hard on myself. I decided to change from that to how I am now, and I actually drive myself and become a better person. But at first, this change honestly could have been a lot worse than how it was. There's also a quote that he says, "There is no fall greater than the one from a burnt bridge." And from after high school, everybody's off going to college and stuff like that, and they all have their own lives to live. And I was trying to like keep my friend group and stuff like that all tied together by talking to them, and it was kind of hurting me a bit because I was the only one trying and they all had their own things. And at the end of the day, I realized that they don't have time, like they have to go do them and stuff like that and grow. But during the time, I was hurting myself more by holding on. And once I realized that, it hurt a lot more, but it was something that I had to overcome. And from this obstacle, the way that it kind of like defines me and is one of like the biggest time frames in my life is I learned how to, I guess, help myself and to control everything that's inside me, whether it be my emotions or just thoughts in general. And he says that we are all capable of regulating how we think and feel. It just boils down to owning that power. And that fits perfectly with how this kind of situation went. Is at first I was just doing me, having fun, just not caring about the future at all, and that it would cause my thoughts, because I did smoke and do other things a lot and party and stuff, and cause like my thoughts and stuff to not really be normal, I guess to say. Like they were a lot more crazier, and I wanted to go do more things and just really kind of like let loose. And whenever it came to nighttime in my safe spot, like my thoughts were negative and like kind of downgrading and lazy, like, oh, you don't want to go to work and stuff like that. But I learned how to control them, and that's how this quote basically fits in. Is I had the power all along, but it just took a longer for me to realize that, and that it's just a mindset that you have to control it. So in class, we did an activity which involved a trash can and many like paper balls that were just paper rolled up and crinkled and stuff. And the goal was placed into one spot, and the people were spotted at everywhere across the room. And some people were further, some were closer, and the privileged people would be have to be the people closer, and the people that weren't were the ones that were a distance away and had like chairs, tables, or like even people in front of them that made it harder to make the basket. Everybody is really afforded the same opportunity, because at the end of the activity we found out that all you had to do was ask to move, and you weren't set there. You could venture out, but all you had to do was actually put in the effort and ask the questions, which would be just going for the opportunity. Like, nobody said you couldn't, so why don't you? And it kind of like, once that was put into perspective, it altered it, because it was like, well, yeah, no matter where you start off, you really could go anywhere in life. You think about many rappers in life and stuff, and how they had a hard life, a hard upbringing, and they're up at the top because they didn't see it as, oh, I'm down here, so I have to stay down here. They saw it as, you know what, I'm down here, but this is my life. I could do whatever I want. And this really altered, how I thought a little bit, because it's like, even though you might start off somewhere, the possibilities where you can end up are endless. It's just all your mindset, and there's going to be other obstacles, and your goals are going to shift, but at the end of the day, as long as you push through it, and instead of seeing an obstacle as like an impenetrable wall, then you can go through those and reach your goals no matter where they are or how long it might take. It just has to be the drive and the desire to complete these goals. Success is reaching your goals, and to be able to, once you reach the goals, to walk away with satisfaction. And sometimes you reach your goals, but there's a price at it, and you're walking away from it like feeling down, like, oh man, like this was the wrong move. But I guess to say that is success in a way, because you did reach your goal, but it was just not the outcome you expected. And while reading this novel, it kind of changed me a little bit, because it opened my mind that you really are in control of a lot more things than you think. It's just really all in your head. That one of the quotes that he says is to words and faith will only take you as far as your actions allow. And it's saying that, kind of like, oh, you're reading this book and whatnot, but if you read it and you think about it, you're like, oh, that's a good idea, and you see what he's saying, you actually have to go out there and pursue it. You can't just have that thought in your head. Everybody says actions speak louder than words. And for me, I want to reach a point of success where I am like happy. I don't have to worry about things like bills or money. I can go do what I want. And if I have interest or want to explore something, I can. I don't have to worry about it. Be like, oh, I want this car, so I can't, I have to stop and save up for a while. But there's a thing that he says. It says, what good is wealth if one is spiritually, emotionally, and mentally bankrupt? And if you think about many of the actors or celebrities, a lot of them, they have money. They have, a ton of, money to throw around and stuff. But mentally, they're not at a place where they're happy with themselves, or they're just at a point that's happy all around. They have the money and stuff, but they feel lonely inside. So you kind of have to have a good mentality and a good mindset if you want to be able to reach the top, and to not feel like destroyed internally. And there's many things about like through this novel and stuff like that changed my perception, because a long time ago I used to think like, oh, things happen for a reason. I can't really control it. Like, I'm more of like a free flowing kind of guy, but that's just me being kind of lazy to think about it. And that's kind of, this novel's opened my eyes to that. I do have control over things. Like, I mean, I don't have control over the weather to say, but like my goals and what I want to achieve, I do have control over that. And if I want to achieve that, no matter what it is, I can achieve that. There's many people that you see that are like, are missing a leg or whatnot, and they're out there playing sports and stuff like that. And seeing that, it's like, wow, what's my excuse? If they can do that, I can really go do whatever I want and what I set my mind to. And this kind of made me want to set a couple goals. Like, I want to be able to just kind of rely on myself for a while. Like, it might be selfish or whatnot, but going out there and like always depending on people, that's not going to get you anywhere in life, because once they leave, you're not going to have anything. So I want to be able to, not rely on others and do what I want on my own, because my entire life I've kind of like fought for other people's attention and like to have them around, but I want to like not need anybody to say. And that's kind of like a loner thing to say, but I think it would help me in the long run by just switching a couple of things in my mind and saying that, you know what, I got me, and that's good enough, because while other people come and go, I have myself forever. And I also want to be able to like not push things back or to another time as much. And by reaching this, I think the easiest thing, internally, is just to achieve it right then and there, instead of saying, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go to the bank tomorrow, or I'm gonna send this mail the next day. Instead of that, being like, you know what, I have a few minutes after work, or I'm getting this done today no matter what. If it's like 11:50 p.m., I'm gonna get this done today, instead of pushing it back to where I forget and stuff like that. I also want to like be able to, this kind of ties into relying on myself a bit, is to, before I start to like want other people back in, I want to be able to like explore and to kind of like travel the world by myself, to say, because I feel like that's gonna let my mind expand a lot more. And by seeing a lot of other things just by myself and stuff like that, I get to intake everybody others like perspective and their culture and stuff like that, and like their processing, instead of taking some friends or whatnot. It might be fun, but they're gonna have their own attitude, and I just want to take the opinions and attitude from the areas that I'm visiting. And to reach these goals, I'm just gonna have to work my butt off and save money, and that might mean I can't go out every day, and I have to kind of just scrounge around and to save up the money. But in the end, I think it would help me become a better person and to understand not just the world, but just everybody around me a lot better. And I've always been a type of person that understands others, their emotions, feelings. Like, a lot of my friends come to me whenever like they're upset, feeling low, because even though sometimes I haven't gone through what they've gone through, I'm able to put myself in their shoes and feel what they're feeling. Like, I can't walk what they're walking, but as long as I can feel how they're feeling, I can adapt my mind to kind of see what they're seeing, and to help them understand like other people's perspectives in their lives. And the novel that I've been using to suggest and to quote a bit, starts off with, "Welcome to my world, take what you need." And this kind of is true for the novel, is because you're going into his world, which is his view, what he sees of everything. And honestly, this book is just trying to help people like understand everything, and to better understand themselves, to motivate themselves, and to take what you need. It's basically just, hey, this is what I see, and it kind of alters how you see things a little bit too, so you better understand the world, and you can take it, take his knowledge and, what he's saying and to better yourself. And that's what he's saying. But then again, there's other people that aren't going to take anything from this novel and just see it as a dumb book. So, this has been my TED Talk, and I hope you guys enjoyed.